Do you have a dream car? Mine is the Lucid Air. Are you intrigued by electric vehicles? The Lucid Air EV has been called the best driving car in the world. And the Lucid Air Sapphire is certifiably the fastest production car in the world. Listen to Lucid Driver Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts or at luciddriver.buzzsprout.com.
Smile a little more and laugh a little longer. Embrace your moment. Don't let your moment slip away. Which is a good message that you can take every day, just to smile a little more and embrace your moment.
Wow, and you sang that as a 12-year-old.
Yes.
Wow. And so that was the beginning of your recording career.
Welcome to the Joy of Cruising podcast with your host, award-winning author Paul C. Thornton, a weekly conversation with the amazing cruisers featured in the Joy of Cruising books, comprised of The Joy of Cruising, Cruising Interrupted, new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, as well as other fun, informative global cruise personalities. It's the next best thing to cruising, hearing about cruising from the unique and diverse perspectives of Paul's amazing guests. If you hear about a cruise that interests you, book it at www.thejoyofvacation.com or enter to win a free cruise for two. Again, www.thejoyofvacation.com. We really appreciate your feedback, so leave us a text. Paul can't reply, but he may read your text on the air.
Hello, passionate cruisers. This is Paul, and I am delighted to welcome this week on the Joy of Cruising podcast, NyasiaMonroe, a Richmond, Virginia-based, homegirl, singer, songwriter, and entertainer known for her powerhouse vocals, captivating stage presence, and versatility across multiple genres. A three-time Stellar Award-nominated recording artist, she has built a career that spans gospel, R&B, musical theater, and live entertainment. Nyasia is a graduate of New York City's American Musical and Dramatic Academy, AMDA, with a concentration in musical theater. She has performed in productions of Hairspray, the musical, and Dreamgirls, the musical. Nyasia currently serves as a lead vocalist with the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, delivering world-class entertainment for international audiences aboard one of the world's most prestigious luxury hospitality brands. Alongside her live performances, she recently released her latest R&B single, Love. With her exceptional artistry, professionalism, and ability to connect with audiences, Nyasia continues to establish herself as a premier entertainer on stages around the world. Welcome, Nyasia, to the Joy of Cruising podcast.
Thank you. Hello, everyone tuning in.
How you doing?
I am doing great. I am blessed. Another day to be alive is always a great day, so I am doing well.
So where are we chatting with each other from?
I am in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, so you're home.
So I am home.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. I called you home girl when I did the introduction. We live actually. It's a stretch to say we live in Richmond. We live south of Richmond.
Okay.
Down near you would be familiar with Chesterfield. I think it's called Chesterfield.
Or That's exactly where I'm from, Chesterfield.
Oh, okay. Midlothian and all of that area.
Yes, sir. Oh. Right down Hall Street.
Yep.
You'll probably see me one day.
Depending on where we shop, and we'll go Hall or we'll go Midlothian. So yeah, you're really actually not that far from us. So yeah, we just moved here 9 months ago, maybe. My wife is from close to here. All her sisters are here, but we just moved to Richmond maybe 9 months ago. From we were living in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
So, but this is about you. So before we discuss your impressive singing, and performing career. Tell our listeners about yourself in general. Where you're from, where you live, which we kind of just talked about, family, background, anything you are willing to share.
Yes, so my name is NyasiaMonroe. I am born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, 28 years old. I actually got started singing in the choir with my mom. My family has a church in New Jersey. My godparents are the pastors and first lady. So growing up, I was singing before I could even say hello or mom or dad. I was always singing. So it's been a part of my life. And at the age of 12, I started releasing my own music, gospel music, which has netted me 3 Stellar Award nominations. And from then on, I moved to New York to go to college for musical theater and do Hairspray, the musical, Dreamgirls, the musical as well. I've sang with numerous entertainment bands all across the tri-state area. And then I decided, well, I have never done a cruise before. I've never been on a cruise ship. I actually had never been on a ship, period. So I was looking online and I posted something online saying, "Hi, I have experience doing all of these things, but I don't know how to break into this industry." And lo and behold, the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection emailed me and they asked me to be a part of it. And that was my first time being on a ship. And I got to experience the Ritz-Carlton. So
Wow.
I think, yes, it is truly a blessed experience. Yes.
Well, listeners know that I am as passionate about music and comedy as I am about cruising. So I love hosting performers on cruise ships on the podcast. So so say more about how that opportunity with Ritz-Carlton came about. So you said you emailed, like you just did some cold calling?
Yeah, so I was just online on social media looking up auditions for cruise companies or how to get started, and I made a post on Facebook, and that is how they found me. I made a post posting myself singing, and they reached out to me, and at first I didn't even respond because I didn't think that it was real, and I'm like I don't know if this is real, so I shouldn't respond, and they reached out to me again like, "Hi, we're just checking back in." I said, "Oh, okay." And from then on, I've been working with them since.
So we'll come back to Ritz Carlton because that's kind of a almost like a Cinderella story. You know how you did that. But so we'll come back to that because many of us cruisers fantasize about cruising on Ritz Carlton, and for you to get on Ritz Carlton for your very first cruise, we already you're a hero to all of us just for that. But I want to go back to the beginning. So you started singing as a child. Say a little about the progression from child singer to Stellar Award nominations and Broadway productions and so on. Uh, uh, what did you record? I guess Stellar Award, you have to record. When did you record your first gospel song?
So I recorded my first gospel song, which was entitled "Smile," at 12 years old. That was my first single, and my dad actually managed me. He didn't know anything about the music industry, but my parents knew that I had a passion for singing, and so he took it upon himself to be my manager. And that's when I released my first single, "Smile." So it just says
Now that
to
smile,
smile a little more.
that
Yep,
that smile predated. Oh, I cut you off. You were singing. I want you to do that again.
that's all right.
but that smile predated Kirk Franklin's smile, right? He has a song called "Smile."
He does have a song called Smile. I believe mine was released
Okay,
first,
so
but
that's not.
yeah.
It wasn't a cover of it.
No, this is a different song entitled
Oh,
Smile.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
And you
sir.
were 12.
Yes, 12 years old.
Wow.
Mhm.
Now I interrupted you, and you were humming, and usually I've had several singers, a number of singers on the show, and and I never asked them to sing anything, but you volunteered a couple of bars, so go ahead.
Oh, I was just singing the song Smile and saying that it says to smile a little more and laugh a little longer. Embrace your moment. Don't let your moment slip away, which is a good message that you can take every day just to smile a little more and embrace your
Wow,
moment.
and
So,
you sang that as a 12-year-old.
yes.
Wow. And so that was the beginning of your recording career. So talk about what came after that.
Yeah, so that was the first time I had, recorded my own music. And from then on, I went to release 3 gospel albums, which I was in the studio for. So while I was in high school, I was missing the dances and some of the school parties because I was touring. I would go to different churches, events, and I just took that music everywhere that I possibly could while I was a teenager, and that's how I got the Stellar Award nominations, which was a huge honor in the gospel community. And from there, I would go to all the red carpets and to the events. One time I was there, and Beyonce was there as well. So I got to see her, which is one of my biggest influences and idols as an
Get
artist.
out. Did you get to meet her, or
Yes.
you just saw her live?
I did not get to meet her, but I was very close because at this time, Michelle Williams, who was in Destiny's Child,
Mm-hmm.
she started releasing, gospel music, and she featured Beyonce and Kelly Rowland on her song. So they came to the Stellar Awards
Oh,
to
okay.
perform it.
Okay.
And this was a year that I was nominated. So I was walking on the red carpet, and I just was hoping Beyonce would be on that red carpet, but she did perform, and it was an amazing experience. So definitely music has brought some great experiences to my life.
Well, we'll talk about this, but I understand that you performed Beyonce on Ritz-Carlton.
Yes.
You should send her a recording.
Oh, yeah. I'm working on it. I will.
uh,
Yeah, that was an amazing, amazing thing that I got to let them know who I would like to pay
mhm,
tribute to.
mhm,
And we end up doing Beyonce and Tina Turner.
So we'll come back to that. So then you did your you got your 3 Stellar Award uh, nominated recordings, and then how did you segue to Broadway production?
We'll be right back.
The Joy Vacation by Dream Vacations invites you to join us on a bucket list adventure to Africa. We're going to Kenya and Egypt for 14 days, April 10th through April 24th, 2027. A week in Kenya, including safaris, and a week in Egypt, including the pyramids and a 4-day Nile River cruise. This adventure includes air from the U.S., all transfers, all accommodations, private tours, and many meals. $5,000 to $5,500, depending on air, per person. Double occupancy. Only $250 per person deposit due at booking. The remainder is not due until late 2026. For a detailed itinerary, online brochure, and to book, email me at pthornton, THORNTON, pthornton @dreamvacations.com.
So after graduating from high school, I was trying to figure out, I knew I wanted to go to school for music, but I wasn't sure which school I wanted to go to. because I wanted to go to school for theater, but as a African-American Black young girl, I always dreamt of going to HBCU as well. So I had a dilemma to figure out. And then there was a school, it's called the American Musical Dramatic Academy. It's a conservatory in New York. They came close by to Richmond, and I decided to audition for it for theater. And I sang, and I am telling you, from Dreamgirls. And I got into the school. I got a scholarship to go. And so I took my journey on the road to New York. And from then on, I learned acting as well as doing musical theater. And we also did tap dancing, theater dancing, ballet. So it really opened my eyes up and helped me expand on life as a performer. So I think it was a good choice to go for theater. And it's a completely different way and style of performing that's good to learn. And I think as a performer, it's great to learn every style of performing because it all can help you overall with your own artistry.
And I see that talking about Broadway productions, you performed in a production of Hairspray, the musical, and I just want to mention to you when your time comes to an end of performing on Ritz-Carlton, I've actually seen a performance of Hairspray the musical on another cruise line. So having started at such a prestigious line and having the background that you have, if you decide that you want to continue with performing on ships, there's a lot of this, but there's a lot of opportunity for you. And I just wanted to note that I did see Hairspray on, I believe it was Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So, well, let's deal with that question now. Do you want to continue to? I mean, how do you like cruising and performing on cruise ships?
I love it. I mean, that was my first experience working with the Ritz-Carlton. I was overseas for 6 months. So we went to the Caribbean. It was my first time going to Europe. And I absolutely loved it. I love to travel. So to be able to travel and to sing as well while doing it and see the world, I think is such an amazing thing, amazing opportunity. So yes, of course.
So you want to continue to do this. Now, your first, I usually ask guests, to talk about their first cruise because I have so many listeners who, aspire to take a cruise but haven't been on one yet. And so I always ask guests to give them a feel for what they're likely to face. In your case, though, you hadn't gone on a cruise before. Your first cruise was to work. Were you worried at all about how you would deal with the water and were you thinking about seasickness or any of that, or you were just too psyched up for your first singing contract at sea?
So I was nervous at first. Before we got on the ship, you have to complete a few courses. So you need to do some training, which is called the STCW. And they send you somewhere for a week where you have to learn fire safety.
Okay.
You also need to swim. You're doing swim test. You are learning a lot of things just in case anything happens on the ship. You are prepared for yourself and prepared to help the guest as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not an amazing swimmer. So I said, oh my gosh, I hope that I can learn how to swim before I get on the ship, because then I may have some trouble. So one of the tests that we had to do, I had to jump into a 13-foot pool, and I just had to be able to float for 1 minute. I also had to climb into a life raft and then also flip the life raft over. So there were a lot of swim tests that we had to do, as well as putting out a fire. We had to put on a gas mask and go into, like fake prop building that they set up and put out a fire.
Oh,
So
wow.
I felt like I'm every woman. I felt like I was every woman before I got on that ship. So that was the scariest
Now,
part that prepared me to get on the ship. And once I got there, I was fine.
how many of you went through that training?
I believe all of the singers have to go through that, or really, I think maybe all of the employees, because it's safety training. So I'm not exactly sure, but I know the singers that I worked with as
But
well
but I meant
had
like
to
in your
experience
group,
it.
how large was your group when you
Um, so my group on the ship, or
no
my
when you
group in
went for like the testing and all that? I mean, what's
when I went for the testing, it was about maybe 10 people. They have different classes. None of them, we weren't all going on different ships. I believe I was the only girl that was in that class. There's a lot of guys that were, training to work under the ships as well. So it was just me and a bunch of big guys, but about 10 people, and we got it done.
so you had not yet experienced walking on a ship.
No,
So
I had never been on a ship.
talk about that experience. The first time you had to board.
The first time I had to board, so I've had a few experiences coming onto the ship. Actually, on the way to the ship, I know I'm telling so many stories that are, once I repeat them to myself, I'm like, wow, that really happened.
Well,
But
Nyasia, we love stories.
yes, before I got on the ship, my luggage was lost in the airport.
Oh
So
no.
my experience walking onto the ship, I was just panicking because I didn't have a suitcase, which had all of my performance dresses in it and everything that I needed. But the experience going onto the Ritz-Carlton, of course, is seamless. And once I got on there, I let them know that I didn't have my things. And so all of the people worked every day. They were letting me know that they were trying and trying and trying to find my suitcase. So for the first week, I was performing and I was knocking on people's doors on the ship that I didn't know, borrowing
Get
clothes just to
out.
get through a performance. Yes. And luckily, after 1 week, my suitcase was found. It was all the way in London, and I was all the way in the Caribbean. And they found my suitcase, brought it to the ship, and I lived happily ever after since then.
Is that
Yes.
now that suitcase that was lost? Did that have all your stuff, or you had another suitcase?
I had another suitcase, but I had one suitcase for toiletries, miscellaneous, and one suitcase for all my performance wear.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
and that was the one that was lost. So
Wow. Well, you had to immediately make some acquaintances if you had to borrow
I did.
people's clothes.
Yep. The minute I got there, I just had to have a little bit of faith and knock on some doors, and I did my performances. So it was a interesting experience. I didn't have time to really think about life on the ship, and the boat rocking or anything like that,
You
because I was
just
worried
didn't have
about
time to think
luggage.
about it.
Yes. But after a while, things calmed down, of course, and I never got seasick. Um, of course, the yacht rocks, but it wasn't anything. Um, we didn't have any moments where it was like bad. So we were in a good place.
Now, as I mentioned, I've had a fair number of performers on the show. Some of the women comment about being unprepared for the movement when they're in high heels. Did you was that a challenge for you? Talk about your show and the logistics of performing it.
Yeah, so high heels, no, it has never been a problem for me. I lived in New York for 5 years after graduating college, and I walked the streets of New York every day in heels.
Mm-hmm.
I wear heels all the time to be prepared for when I'm on stage, because I am dancing in them. So I am a high heel warrior. But my shows, so every night we have a different theme of music. So you have a Motown night, you have a jazz night, you have a pop night, and country night. You also have a disco night. And then the lead vocalist, which is just myself and one other guy, we do a tribute to the people that we love, that we admire. So my tribute was to Beyonce and to Tina Turner. And the person I was working with, his name is Gabriel Everlast, who you should have on your show because he is so amazing, amazing, amazing singer. He did a tribute to Stevie Wonder and to Prince.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so we had so much fun. The Ritz flew us to London for a month, and we rehearsed 6 days a week from 10 to 6 every day. We rehearsed those shows to make sure they were perfect before we got on the ship. And then when we got on the ship, we just had fun. So I would channel my Beyonce energy and my Tina Turner. I think that was of course, my favorite show. But all of the shows we had were really good.
So when they flew you, Nyasia, to London, and you worked, so when you got on the ship, you worked with the band that you had been working with in London?
So the Ritz hires all of us individually.
Right.
So we did not know each other. Our first time meeting was in London.
Right.
To rehearse, and then they flew us all together after we finished rehearsing to the ship.
But it was the band that ultimately played behind you on the ship. They were in London?
Yes, we all rehearsed and met in London.
Okay.
Yes.
The reason that I'm pursuing this line of questioning is I have hosted a couple of vocalists, and I know one you might know. Do you know Patrice Covington?
I don't. That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
She has performed in a version of Dreamgirls, and also in a version of I should have looked at my notes about her. When I had her on the show, it's been a couple of years or at least a year now. But anyway, she is a vocalist that we met on Celebrity Cruise Line, and she was great. Absolutely. She did, her show was a tribute to Whitney Houston.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
awesome.
And she. Oh my goodness, she was so good. So we immediately got her to not immediately, but we got her to agree to be on the show, but one of the things that she talked about, which is different from what you just said, a lot of times when she comes to, not a lot of times, all the time, when she comes to the ship to perform, she has not met the band. And,
wow.
And they play maybe rehearse one time that day, before performing that night?
Yes. So there are, which is, of course, the goal. You have the resident musicians, which is what I was on the ship. We live on the ship
Okay.
for months, and we perform pretty much every night with the same band. And then you have guest entertainers who will come on the ship maybe for about 2 weeks, and they are just meeting the band for the first time. They do a show and then they leave.
Okay.
So that, of course, is the goal, because I want to get on and get off.
Mm-hmm.
But that is probably a guest entertainer show that she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, they seem like they had been playing together for quite some time. So if you guys went to London and rehearsed all day, every day, I'm sure that was a tight performance, as the listeners have seen by some of the videos that I've posted.
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely a great band. We all had great chemistry together as well. So it was a good first experience for sure.
So tell us about the passenger part of Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, so we can all fantasize vicariously through you. What was it like from the time you bought it?
Well, I can say, first of all, if you're just coming as a guest, you are going to have a great experience. If you want to relax and just unplug, that is definitely the place you want to be. It's not like going on other cruise lines. In fact, they don't even want you to say that it's a cruise, because it's a super yacht. So they don't want you to think it's a cruise ship experience. It's definitely more catered to full relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a one-on-one ratio. So the same amount of guests they have is the same amount of employees they have, to try to personalize the experience for each guest.
Mm-hmm.
There's about the ship I was on, which is Ilma.
Okay.
Yes. They had about 5 different restaurants on the ship. You also have a Bulgari store that's selling jewelry and Hermes, Birkin bags, very expensive luxury. It's all luxury on that ship. The pools, the outside decks as well. It's a really relaxing, very nice experience. And all of the employees, you can tell that they love to work there, and they love to cater to the guests. So everybody is going above and beyond. And as a singer, I get all the privileges of we can eat at any of the restaurants whenever we like. We are able to just be in the guest areas. In fact, they encourage us to hang out with the guests, to go to dinner with the guest as well. So everything is free on the ship, and it's just an amazing experience. And of course, you go to so many places. So we went to Europe, we went to Spain, to Barcelona, to Italy, to Greece as well, and all across the Caribbean. So it was a really, really great experience as a singer working there, and also to see the passengers as well. I think I'm definitely spoiled with my experience there. So I know when I get on another cruise line, I might be looking around and seeing what they got. But definitely great.
Well, I'll tell you, you're going to be hard pressed to match Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection on other cruise lines. I mean, other cruise lines are wonderful and have a lot to present. Different things than Ritz-Carlton. For instance, once you get on the larger Royal Caribbean ships, they have water shows at sea and ice skating shows at sea that are just, no one can match that. A number of cruise lines have have wonderful things, but you started one of the very premium lines. Most of our listeners, a very small percentage, have been on a luxury cruise, uh, and a smaller percentage yet have been on Ritz-Carlton. Do you know Kathy Lou by any chance?
Kathy Lou, I don't.
Okay, she is I can't remember her title, but I had her uh, on behalf of Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, maybe about 5 or 6 months ago. Uh, and in fact, she had not gone on all of the fleet yet, but I believe Ilma is the one that she mentioned that she had been on.
Okay, awesome.
So say something about again for us who just wish we could go on. I've been on one luxury ship, one luxury line, Explorer Journeys, which is kind of similar to Ritz-Carlton. But for those of us who want to know what it's like to be on the cream of the crop, talk a little bit about your accommodations.
Yes. So, the guest, if you're a passenger on there, then of course you have the guest suites. Some of them also include a jacuzzi or a hot tub out on the deck that they have as well. But the rooms, of course, if you look them up, they are amazing. You have a full um, in-suite dining. You have someone that is um, catered to come just specifically to your room to fit your needs every day, and they're there for you your entire stay. So they definitely personalize it. As a employee, as a singer, we have our own suites. We have our own cabins, which is life below deck. So we are not in a guest suite unless you are a guest entertainer, which they come on and come off the ship. Then they have a guest suite, which is hopefully, God willing, that's what I'm working to. So I can be in the jacuzzi and posting it on Instagram on the Ritz-Carlton. Yes. But yes, all of the accommodations, even for us as singers, are really nice. And I've heard from other singers that have worked on other ships that this is the best that they have seen.
Yeah. What about the food?
The food on the restaurants are amazing. The food for the employees, it is still great, but definitely it is whoever is cooking back there. If they want to make certain food that day, that's what you're getting. But
So you didn't eat in the same well, you did mention the rest you were able to eat in the various restaurants too,
yes,
though,
yes.
right?
So as a singer, we
Okay.
get the privilege of eating in the restaurants with the guest, and we also have employee. They have an employee dining hall as well. Um, so as singers, we are the only employees that get the privilege to be in the guest areas and eat in the restaurants and do all the activities. The other employees don't. So they have an employee dining area, they have an employee lounge and bar, and we also use that as well.
Well, I have a question later for your favorite uh, cruise food, so we'll talk about that at that time. Um, so I had a question for you. Have you performed on other lines? But clearly you have not. Uh, and I sense that you aspire to at some point, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
How long are you? I guess they have contracts in the cruising business. How long are you contracted to Ritz Carlton?
So I just finished that contract, and basically it's up to us and up to them as well when they ask us if we would like to come back. We're independent contractors, so when we come on for a few months, that's our contract, and then we decide if we're going to do another one.
Let's talk a little bit about the future, Nyasia. Do you know your cruising performance schedule coming up? Your contract just ended, so you don't have any pending cruises coming, right? Yet?
Well, I might, but I'm not able to say just yet.
You're not able to. Okay, okay. What about any touring in the U.S.? What I'm trying to get at is how can our listeners see you?
So I would definitely tell the listeners to just keep updated with me on social media. Because although, yes, I am working on the cruise ships, I also make and release my own music. And I perform at events as well. So if there's even people listening in Richmond, I may be close by soon. So I would just say to keep updated with me on social media to see what's coming next.
Well, come and perform at the Richmond Music and Jazz Festival. We bought our tickets for that already.
Okay,
So.
yeah, I might see you there then. I might have to see you in person.
Yep. Hey, you mentioned your recording. Say something about that. Love, right?
Yes. So about a year ago, I released my first R&B single, which R&B pop, which is entitled "Love," and I fully wrote this song. I was dating someone at the time, and we ended up breaking things off, and I decided to write a song about it, which is what we all do with our music. So that is entitled "Love," and it's just saying I need love, and sometimes you think that you need love from another person when in reality you just need to love yourself. And so you can find that song as well on all of my social media outlets.
Now, is does that suggest an album is on its way?
Yeah, it might. Yeah, we got some things in the works going on here. So yes, I have taken. Of course, I still have my gospel roots, and I would say I'm not really want to be defined under one specific genre. I make music, inspirational music, and I make music to empower other women and young girls as well. So I am working on something soon.
Well, when you have some news to share, I mean, you're part of the Joy of Cruising podcast family now. So
Yes.
we have a Facebook group, and so we'll often sometimes I'll reissue a podcast. Like someone did a podcast about Mother's Day, and so every Mother's Day I reissue it. So when you have some news to share, just send me a note, and then I'll drop it in the podcast group, and also put a link to your episode. So people will want to listen to your episode a year from now because of something. Yeah, you're part of Joy of Cruising podcast now.
Well, thank you.
What about continuing to talk about the future? What about personal travel? Do you like to get away? You have anything booked?
Oh, I absolutely love to get away. But in reality, even though I was working, I was singing. It's what I love to do. And I was traveling. So really that was one big vacation for me because every day we went to a new place. So by the time I was finished, I just wanted to come home and see my family for a bit. So it's only been about 3-4 weeks since I have actually been home from the ship. So I have just been going and visiting my family. But yes, before I go back on another ship, which I can say if I will see, I will definitely be taking a vacation. Maybe back to Europe. I absolutely loved it. So I definitely want to go back maybe to Portugal. We went there and that was so amazing to me. If you ever get a chance to go there or if you've been, it's awesome.
Well, speaking of that, what's on your cruise and travel bucket list? What's the one place? Well, I'm sure it's not just one. What's at the top of your list of places that you've got to get to? You're pretty young, but you've got a lot of time. But what's the place you've got to see before before it's all said and done?
I have to go to the motherland. I have to go to Africa. I really would like to go to Egypt. That has always been a dream for me to see. So I definitely want to explore. There's so many places in Africa. But for sure, Egypt is one of my dream places. I crossed off seeing some of Europe, but would love to see more of that as well. But really everywhere. I don't have, except for Egypt, I don't have a specific place that I would like to see. Greece was one as well that I really wanted to go to, and I was able to cross that off. So as long as I'm able and I can travel anywhere, I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
Well, like you, Nyasia, Africa is at the top of my bucket list, and and not only are we crossing it off early in 27, but just to put my sales hat on, we're going to Egypt. We're going to Kenya for a week, and then Egypt.
That's
for a
awesome.
week. And then in Egypt, we're going to do a 4-day Nile cruise. So that's in April of 2027. So you'll probably be at sea, but if somehow you're not,
Yeah. Do you
something to
have
think about.
do you guys have room in your suitcase for me to come? Because I can come, I'll see you next week at the Jazz Festival this weekend. And then I may have to inquire. That's my
Yeah,
birthday
yeah,
month is April. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's also my birthday month.
Awesome.
So
What day?
second.
Okay. That means you're Aries. I'm a Taurus. So I'm the 29th at the end of the month.
Yeah, I miss being on April Fool by 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Nyasia, before we let you go, a few lights and even fun questions. Uh, uh, so, what do you do in your me time? In other words, not cruising, not performing, and not writing music. What else do you like to do?
So actually, also on the ship, and something that I do for fun, I had a class where I perform sound baths. So I play sound bowls. They're crystal sound bowls. You hit them and they strike different chords. And so I play them. They're really well for healing purposes and meditation. So I started getting into that. I also went to school for massage therapy. So I have my massage therapy certification. So all things wellness, I really like, and that's how I spend my downtime. When I'm on stage, I'm being Sasha Fierce. When I'm off stage, I'm just Erica Badu. That's what I'm doing to relax. So you can definitely find me maybe reading a book in the park. You can find me doing some yoga, find me at the spa, playing my sound bowls. But all healing things I really enjoy.
Now those sound bowls, that's something that's not like bowls that you use. That's something specific for making music,
It's
right?
specific for making music. It's just like in Asian culture, they have the Tibetan sound bowls that monks will sometimes use. It's the same thing like that.
Okay, because I have something similar. I bought it at an art, I guess, fair, but it's like a wooden box, and you hit it, and it play. It's almost like a xylophone. Um, uh, and really, I got the idea. There's a cruising angle. I got the idea. I was on a cruise one day, and this guy, he was a performer for the cruise line, and all he did, uh, by the pool was play hip hop songs, but on the steel, what do you call it, the steel drum?
Yes.
Just on the steel drum. And I was amazed. Absolutely. I mean, he had no accompaniment at all. And so I went up and I talked to him, on his breaks. And he told me he was self-taught. He learned from YouTube. And so I was thinking that I was going to buy a steel drum and do that. And then I came across this instrument which sounds a lot like your sound bowls, and they play a very similar sound to the steel drums.
Okay.
So anyway, that's my story.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too familiar with the steel drum. I'll have to look that up. But yes, once you hit the sides of the sound bowl, and there has a stick, and you just move it around a circle, and it will start to create different frequencies, different sounds. And then if you have multiple bowls, then they will create harmonies, and it's a great way to make music and to meditate. Yes.
Now, besides the music you perform and the music you write, what in your me time, what do you like to listen to?
Well, of course, I love to listen to Beyonce. She's my number one. My number one influence, Whitney Houston, um, Aaliyah. Um, for sure, there's a new artist. Well, she's not new, but she's newly been popular. Victoria Monet. She's on
Oh,
tour with
yes.
with Bruno Mars. I absolutely love her.
Yes, yes.
But yes, a lot of neo soul as well. I like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
D'Angelo. I like Janae Aiko. I like everything. I like rap as well. I'm just whatever I'm feeling like that day is what I'm listening to.
And of course, you mentioned who we're going to see in a couple of weeks, Erica Badu.
Yes.
So, okay. Next question. What is your favorite cruise drink and favorite cruise food?
My favorite cruise drink, they had a mocktail called the Pearl of Bimini, and that was really, really good.
Pearl of Bimini?
Yes, Pearl of Bimini. I can't even describe. It was like a fruity taste, but also very fizzy. So I think it had some sparkling water and some different juices in there. Mint. It was really, really good. And my favorite food on board Ilma, there's a specific restaurant. It's called Beach House. And I would always go there to get a lobster roll. It was, they had a lot of seafood. So I would get a lobster roll, I'd get a lobster tail, also sides of steak as well. But the lobster there is delicious. So if anybody's going on board Elma, definitely go to Beach House and try the lobster.
Okay, next question. Where in the world are you most gratified for having visited on a cruise?
I'm going to say all of the places that I've been to were absolutely amazing. But when we crossed to Europe, we were sailing from the Caribbean to Europe for about 10 days at sea. And the minute we got to Europe, the first place we were in was Portugal. And the minute I stepped off the ship, I shed a tear. And I had to call my parents and just say, wow, like I'm just can't believe that God has brought me here just from my passion and talent of singing. And so I think that first experience of being in Europe, in Portugal, was the most gratifying experience I've had while I've been on the ship.
Wow. Well, you could have actually used that to answer my last question. So here's my last question. Nyasia, what's your single most memorable or funniest or even most embarrassing cruise or port experience?
My most embarrassing experience. I think my most embarrassing experience was that I didn't have my luggage. When I first got on the ship, I think that was like, okay, that was my first impression with everybody. And I wanted to make a great one. And then my first impression was that this girl doesn't have any luggage. So now I have to knock on some doors and borrow some clothes. So I will definitely say that one. Um,
Now, Nyasia, when you were performing and they hadn't found your luggage, did you incorporate that into your chatter with the audience?
I absolutely did. So I would sing in my tribute to Beyonce and Tina Turner, and I would take breaks, of course, to let them know who I am. And I also explained to them that this was my first time, being on a ship, and that my luggage was lost. And one of the songs I sang was Listen by Beyonce. And I tied this story in with the song Listen to basically say that it didn't matter that I didn't have any clothes. It didn't matter what I was wearing, because I had a message in my heart. And it's not about the outside exterior. It's about connecting with someone, because you don't know what anyone is going through. So it didn't matter what I had on. It just mattered that I needed to share my message. And so I would sing Listen from there. But yes, I definitely let the guests know, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I just can't even imagine." They didn't know what they would do if they were in that situation.
I imagine they really took to you. That must have been something.
Yes.
Because I've seen you perform, and so I know that they took to you in terms of enjoying your performance, but then adding your story.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. Nyasia, thank you so much for coming on the Joy Cruising podcast. I know that you are going to continue to be successful, and we're going to want you back on the show. So when you, not that I'd like to see you switch from Ritz-Carlton, but when you're ready to give us the perspective of a different line, and you can contrast the two, we'd be glad to have you back. So I'm going to pencil it in to bring you back on when you're ready to continue talking to us about performing at sea.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to come back.
Great. All the best to you in your career. And as I like to say, Nyasia, we will see you on the ocean.
Yes, I'll see you on the ocean.
The Joy of Cruising and Cruising Interrupted, each $16.99 plus shipping, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, for $18.99, can be ordered at the link on thejoyofcruisingpodcast.com. For each of the 3 books, use the discount code Joy of Cruising Podcast and get $4 off. The Joy of Cruising books are also available at Amazon. Order the ebook at Amazon or your favorite online retailer. Stay in touch by joining the Joy of Cruising Podcast Facebook group or following the Joy of Cruising Podcast on Instagram. We're constantly adding new shows. Please leave a review and tell a friend about us. We hope you enjoyed this brief escape to the ocean. See you next week.